Our New World warblers are a piece of the tropics in North America. Though they are famous in the birder world for their colors, patterns, and songs, most of these identification clues are almost completely absent in fall. In autumn, all migrants, including warblers, molt into less flashy plumages, but some females can be confusing year-round. Young immature males are more abundant on the return trip south and are also hard to identify, either looking like the female or being somewhere in between the male and female plumages. In this video, I'll cover 5 tips to identify this group of renowned migratory birds, so you can be better at telling them apart in the field. 5. Habitat and range. Warblers are a diverse group of birds that live in nearly every habitat, from large, towering old-growth forests to mid-successional fields and marshes. Each species has its own preferred habitat that it's evolved to live in, though migrants may not always be found in their favorite types. Range can also be helpful as birds rarely, and in some species, if ever, wander out of their home areas. A well-known extreme example of both overlap in range and habitat comes in the form of the golden-winged and blue-winged warblers, which both depend on diverse, brushy, second-growth habitats and almost completely overlap in range. Despite this, you can easily learn which species is most common in your area, most likely the blue-winged, as the golden-winged has declined more and has lately been outcompeted by the other. The vermivore genus, or the Tennessee and orange-crowned warblers, a hard-to-tell about pair, vary slightly in range, habitat, and abundance. The orange-crowned warbler prefers shrubbier, well-vegetated young forests, but breeds in a wider range of habitats than any other warbler, and is found to gravitate to different plants based on subspecies and location. It also breeds in the west and is generally much scarcer in the east, where the Tennessee warbler takes over. The Tennessee prefers slightly older deciduous or mixed forests. Sometimes confused with the confusing pair is the yellow warbler of riparian wet areas with abundant willows and also occurs in stunted tundra woods, the desert southwest, and relatively wet and brushy fields left behind after mining, abandoned orchards, and clear cuts. The yellow warbler breeds in most of the U.S. except for the deep south, and during migration is always found near water. Another confusing trio, also from the vermivore genus, is the Comoa, Virginia, and Nashville warblers. The Virginia is found in brushy slopes in dry mountain forests, Nashville warbler in open woodlands with near brush and successional areas, and the Comoa only in north-facing canyons and slopes at high elevations. These 3 birds also differ in range. The Virginia is found only in the inland portions of the West, Nashville across most of the U.S., emitting a small gap west of the Great Plains, and the Comoa only breeding in the Chisos Mountains and Big Bend National Park, Texas. The mourning warbler and the Griffel's warbler are both found in similarly disturbed or densely undergrowth woods with brambles, but the mourning is found in the east, while the McGriffles is the western counterpart. Some other birds to know the range and habitat of are the common yellowthroat in mid-successional wet fields, often accompanied with indigo buntings in all of the U.S., the scarce far eastern Connecticut warbler of deciduous woods and bogs, the eastern promontory warbler and yellow-throated of bottomland forests and forest areas near woods, tiny Woosey's warbler of dense, short, thorny forest in the deep west, the southeastern Swason's warbler of open, wet, diverse forests with rhododendrons, the eastern worm-eating warbler of forests with well-developed understories, and more. The next confusing pair are the Wilson and Hooded, with the juveniles looking much alike, but only overlapping in range in the east, and the Hooded favoring moist, shady forests with undergrowth, while the Wilson's favors wet, well-vegetated areas with low undergrowth and scattered wet-loving trees. The similar female and immature plumaged dendrocona pine and palm warblers overlap in most of range only in east, but the pine is always found near pines, while the palm likes open and semi-open mid-successional areas with willows and grasses. The confusing fall trio from the same genus, blackpoll, bay-breasted, and chestnut-sided, all overlap in range and will use similar habitat during migration, but blackpoll prefers wetter, and chestnut-sided always successional or forest edge. The last group, 4 in total, also comes from the Dendrocona genus, with all sharing the same general color scheme and habitat preferences. The Townsends and hermit occur in the west, though the hermit has a much smaller, more coastal range. The black-throated green is the only one widespread throughout the east, and the golden-cheeked is basically endemic to Texas. Make sure to buy a good field guide with range and habitat descriptions, or just download the Cornell Merlin Bird ID app to know what is most likely in your area. Once you get experienced enough in the field, you'll be able to look at a habitat and predict what species you are most likely to see in it. 4. Behavior and time of year. Most warblers are long-distance migrants, meaning they travel long distances annually to reach their breeding and non-breeding grounds. This means that some can only usually be found at a certain time of year. In spring, any area will have a range of species. The East having American redstart, blue-winged, golden-winged, orange-crowned, Tennessee, yellow, Nashville, mourning, yellow-throat, Connecticut, Wilson's, yellow-rumped, Kentucky, hooded, perfunctory, Swason, worm-eating, northern parula, and more, and the West having fewer, but still a lot. Graces, painted redstart, yellow-throat, yellow, Virginias, Lucy's, McGriffles, Wilson's, yellow-rumped, Townsend's, and hermit. But in summer, the diversity falls as most eastern warblers move further north, while most western species breed in the southeast. Breeding birds of the southeast you can find in summer are black and white, perfunctory, yellowthroat, Kentucky, hooded, Swasons, worm-eating, northern parula, ovenbird, and yellow-throated. Many of those that breed in the northern U.S. and Canada also have a breeding range that stretches into the Smoky Mountains of West Virginia and East Tennessee. In winter, only a few warblers stay in the states, usually in the south, with orange-crowned, palm, and common yellowthroat in the deep south, and pine and yellow-rumped in most of the southern states. Certain species, though they still have to migrate through, are practically invisible during one part of the year, or completely non-existent in both fall and spring. In fall, the most abundant warbler by far is the magnolia, though it is almost completely absent in spring, and the yellow-rumped, though difficult to find till late fall, is the majority of warblers in early to mid-spring migration. In recent years, McGriffles, Connecticut mourning, though always uncommon and secretive, have been almost impossible to find migrating for their known fall and spring migrating ranges, likely due to population declines and habitat encroachment and destruction. Same thing with the declining cerulean and endangered kirtlands and golden-cheeked, with the also severely declined golden-winged and blue-winged falling shortly behind. All of these birds can usually be found confidently only on their breeding grounds, and many other declining warblers that have difficulty adapting to human-affected habitats are already going this way too. Many warblers also have unique behaviors. The orange-crowned warbler tends to forage lower and more deliberately. The Virginia may form flocks after breeding, which together rapidly forage up and down slopes. The western subspecies of Nashville warbler, Ridgway, bobs its tail frequently. The Lucy's also bobs its tail as it feeds actively. The mourning hops while the McGriffles responds better to pitching and sings more often than similar species. The common yellowthroat twitches its tail like a wren. The Connecticut walks. The Wilson's either flycatches or hovergleans like a gnatcatcher with much flicking of tails and wings. The Connecticut forages in leaf litter by hopping. The hooded forages on or just above the ground while flashing its white tail. The singing male Swason's warbler perches high up on a hidden perch. The worm-eating has a habit of hanging on and probing dead leaf clusters. The American and painted redstarts feed flashing wings and tail to scare insects. Red-faced warbler frequently feeds like a chickadee and flips its tail. Canada often investigates large mammals and responds vigorously to fishing. Cerulean slowly gleans insects from the treetops. Blackberry actively prairies constantly pumps its tail. Pine forages both on the ground and probes various pine items. Chestnutside forages in trees with tail cocked, wings drooping, and is readily attracted by fishing. Magnolia frequently fans patterned tail. Cape May can be elusive and actively gleans outer parts of high branches. Black and white acts very nuthatch-like, probing tree trunks and branches. And ovenbird walks slowly on ground, head bobbing and tail cocked. 3. Songs and calls. Warblers have a variety of songs and calls which can aid identification. Here are a few common songs of common eastern warblers. Most warblers' calls sound like some variation on a chip, but each is slightly different. 2. Color and shape. Warblers come in a variety of colors and shapes, but some have unique field marks. Blue-winged warblers are overall yellow with bluish-gray wings and tail and a black striped fruited eye with 2 white wing bars. The golden-winged warbler, on the other hand, is grayish overall with a white underside and black and yellow markings and yellow wing bars. Do know that sometimes first-generation hybrids called Brewster's warblers and second-generation backcrosses called Lawrence warblers occur. The confusing trio, Tennessee, orange crown, and yellow warblers all have unique plumages and features. Tennessee warblers always have a bright green back, faint wing bars, a slender straight bill, and most crucially a white undertail, looking most similar to orange crown in fall, but orange crown always has longer tail, drab yellowish undertail coverts, blurry streaks on breast, and slightly down curved bill. Certain yellow warbler subspecies, usually in juvenile plumages, may be confused, but are an overall brownish-yellow wash. In fall, chestnut-sided blackpoll and bay-breasted can be confused, but chestnut always has a lime green underparts, yellow wing bars, and gray face with white eye-ring. Blackpoll are usually duller, being yellow-green-gray colored above, white below, with faint streaks on sides of breast, and short tail with long undertail coverts and white tail spots. And bay-breasted female and non-breeding male with an overall yellowish cast, broader wing bars, short tail, and perhaps some smudges or reddish rusty color on side. Townsend's and hermit occur in most of the same areas, but Townsend's always has black mask on face, yellow and black streaked breast, while hermit has mostly white, queen underside, and yellow face. Hybrids can occur and usually show a hermit-like facial coloration, but underside Townsend pattern. Blackburnian and cerulean immatures can look similar, but Blackburnian is always blacker, while cerulean is greener backed and washed overall. Cerulean also lacks triangular facial patch with no connection between eyebrow and lower light-colored area. Yellow-throated and grace warblers also look similar, but grace's has more yellow, where white should be in yellow-throated and lacks black facial mask. Immature prairie warbler also looks similar to full magnolia, but has faint, yellowish wing bars, yellow underparts including undertail coverts, and white stripe through eye. Mourning, McGriffles, and Connecticut all look similar in immature and female plumages, but mourning juvenile always has yellow throat and breast, black stippling on lower throat, and white split fin eye-ring. McGriffles have grayish throat and thick bright split eye-ring, and Connecticut with thick white eye-ring, bright and well-separated yellow underside, brownish throat and hood, and large bill. Hooded and Wilsons are confusing in immature plumages, but hooded always has a grayish outline of hood, white in tail, large dark eye, and blank yellow face, while Wilson's always has yellow tail underside and grayish coloration stretching to eye and top of head. 1. Go birding with others and resources. As always, going birding with others can help you get better identifying any type of bird by providing the necessary experience in the field and allowing you to learn more from someone who knows more than you. Definitely consider buying a regular bird field guide, such as the one by National Geographic or the National Wildlife Federation, with range maps, identification tips, and photos, as it will help you find features that can narrow down the possible species from a photo or not long after observing it, and will allow you to memorize and look for important ID marks that can help you instantly identify in the field. If you want to go further, you can also get a bird guide only on warblers, such as the Warbler Guide, and definitely get the free Cornell of Ornithology app to learn about the most likely birds to any location and see the bar charts that show their abundance throughout the year. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, share, and like.